Good morning.
Good morning.
So last year when I was on Facebook Marketplace, I found this walk-in cooler and we bought it, and it's been in the workshop for almost a year now. And now is finally the time to do something with it. So this is an older walk-in cooler. It was meant to be outside. It was one of the original ones and it was delivered all in one piece. And when they went to remove it, they couldn't remove it in one piece. They couldn't get back behind the alley of the building because other buildings have been built up around it. So they had to cut it apart. We want to make this into a mobile cooler that doesn't just look like a metal box. So we got to take off all of our sides and our top and kind of figure out how we want to redesign, re-engineer, and rebuild this. We don't just want a metal box. If we have a metal box, we can't hang stuff in it. So we got to figure out how to make this structurally strong enough to have a roof on it so it has a nice pitch to it, so the weather will fall off of it and we don't get a bunch of snow built up on it, and also make it so we can hang. If we want to hang a half a pig in there, if we have half or a quarter of a cow and we need to hang it, we can hang it. So we want to make sure it's all structurally sound for that. We want to make sure we have a place to hang them so that they can dry age until we can cut them up into pieces. So like a cow, you want to let hang for 14 days. A pig, you want to let hang 2 to 3 days before you cut it up into all your little cuts. And it just makes the meat that much more delicious. So we want to make sure we have a place to do that when we need to. First, we got to unstack all of this and figure out how we're going to design this.
This is not some little thing, and technically we've never handled it because it's just been on and off with the tractor. So individually, these pieces, we're not even sure how heavy they are. And basically it's Al and a little bit of me. So I am a little bit, well, we'll see, nervous. So we will figure this out. Maybe they will kind of stand up on their own, but now Al has a plan.
So the new ones come in sections. They have like cam locks. You'd put them together and then you'd cam lock it all together and it would stay. This one was not designed that way. I don't know the age of it, but it's a little older. So I'm just gonna take the door off right now, stand that up over here, and then we're just gonna slide off the ends and we'll stand them up. And
you can tell this one right here is not an exact 45.
Yeah, they kind of.
So, I mean, it's been bent up a little.
Yeah, but it's just foam, so I'm thinking it should easily come back. So this is foam laid with, I don't know if it's aluminum or what kind of metal is on the inside and outside.
Maybe a ratchet strap could help bring that back to the right shape.
Now you're talking my language. That's what I was thinking.
Is it heavy?
No.
Of course he says that. Watch out, Rudy.
So this we scored off a Facebook Marketplace for $300 last year. The value of installation is worth more than $300. That doesn't include the finished surface on the inside, which this is gonna be nice because for cleaning up and sterilizing everything, it's gonna be nice to have metal walls to wash down. So the biggest reason we scored this one is because the price of it for installation, it's definitely worth it to be the base of our project. So now let's take this piece off. That's gonna be the bottom. We'll stand this end up, and we're just gonna, what I wanna do right now is get all the ends off, stand everything up, and then the bottom one is the base. And we need to figure out how to build our own floor system that can support walls, because we're not gonna have just these walls, we're gonna have it wrapped in more walls, and we're gonna put some Roxwool insulation in it, so we'll have double the insulation value. And then one of the big reasons we're gonna do that is that way we can have a roof system on it so snow doesn't sit on it, and then we'll have the structural support to be able to hang stuff on the inside. So we're kind of like redesigning the whole thing, but on the inside, it's gonna look like a walk-in cooler, and it's gonna be extra insulated, so it'll be easy to keep this thing cool.
Oh gosh, I thought it was gonna go over.
All right, so that is one side. So this is the end wall, and that's where I'm assuming the electrical and like the plumbing for the cooler part ran through, and then this is gonna be the ceiling. So I'm gonna take this off, stand it up against the door for now.
Oh.
So the inside of this measures 89 inches by 67 inches. That'd be the inside diameter of the cooler. And then height-wise, we're gonna be 7 feet on the inside, roughly is my guess. So more than enough room to hang something. Not huge, but it'll be perfect size for a homestead or a small farm. So now, I wanna flip the base up or over somehow, and we gotta figure out how to build a deck system that this can go into. Because this is its own deck, it's on metal glides, so you could move it. But if I just use this, there's no way for me to structurally make a building around it and be able to have support and strength on the end walls for the roof. So I wanna build another frame, I wanna build another floor system for this to go into that we can build our outer shell on. It's gonna take 2 of us.
I was gonna say, that looks heavy.
Yeah, with some lot of, I'm gonna say this is angle iron, probably 4-inch thick angle iron, and then there's metal runners on the bottom. So what I wanna do is if we can stand it up and probably rest it right here, and then we can see what we're dealing with in the back. All right, let's see if we can jack it up and at least get it up some way so we're not picking it right up the ground. There we go. I don't dare go any higher with that. It's gonna kick off the jack.
We don't want that to happen either.
No. All right, I'm just gonna set it down on that. All right, new idea. I think we drag it outside with the tractor, flip it over with the forks of the tractor, and then we can leave it outside. We don't have any snow in the forecast for a little while. We can get all of our measurements, and then that way we can build our base in here. And when we go to set this into the base, we're gonna have to use the tractor to lift it up and lower it down from above. So there's really no need of having this in the shop. It's just gonna be in our way and we'll be tripping over it. So we'll take it back down, drag it out, flip it over outside.
How do you flip it out over outside, though?
With the tractor.
Yeah, but.
With chains and the pallet forks, probably just the pallet forks from this way and plop it over.
Oh, I see.
And then that way we don't have to do it by hand, and then that way it'll be outside, out of our way, and we can work in here and have more room to move around.
The weather might not hurt it.
Thought of a few different options now. It's either use this and make a base to drop this in, or get rid of this completely, don't use this at all, and just have a new base. And the thing I was just thinking is maybe when we'll flip this over, maybe we can take a lot of it apart and we can build our new base on top of this metal runner system, but get rid of all of this. So we'll have to have a new 4-inch thick worth of foam flooring, or maybe we could possibly save this, but I don't know. Either way, we're gonna need a floor on top of this or a new floor that's food grade safe, because that's kind of pretty nasty looking. And looking at it from the underside, the plywood that's underneath is kind of rotted. So I still think the best bet, let's lower this back down, we'll drag it out, flip it over, and we'll see what it's gonna take to get this out. And then from there we can decide if we wanna scrap the whole floor or if we wanna try to use the metal subframe to build our deck on top of.
It definitely seemed like it kind of unattached. Like when you lift it up, like that piece right here in the middle.
Yep.
So we might be able to get that out.
Yeah, we'll flip it over right now and then we'll see what it entails and what it looks like.
I think it's just hooked to that plywood.
Yeah, if we can get that whole sheet of plywood out, then we can kind of, if we have to cut some of the metal off, we can't, and then we can build our base on top of that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Well, it looks like we made a mess, for sure. At least now we can see what we got to work with. One side definitely came completely unattached.
Corroding right there.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna flop it over that way if I can.
Watch out, Brutus, please.
The floor system actually came apart a lot easier than I thought it was going to. It's about 4 inches of foam for the floor. We're gonna be able to reuse that. So I'm gonna bring that back in here. We'll set that aside and then we'll bring the metal deck in and see what we need to do to the deck to get the metal deck to work with our new platform that we need to build. Let's get the foam floor in here. The nice thing about that is that's gonna probably save us between $200 and $400 worth of foam if we had to just go out and buy sheet foam right now to make a new insulated floor. Will you move those 6x6s? So I just looked it up on HomeDepot.com. A 2-inch thick 4x8 sheet of foam board is $60. So we would need 3 to make that floor. So that's $180 right there just in value of foam board.
And that's just one single layer.
That'd be 4 inches thick.
4 inches.
Yeah, so that would be what that is equal to. So we paid $300 for it, so that's half the value right there. And then we have our metal base. We're gonna be reusing this and building a new base integrated with the old base, and that way it'll make the new base flooring system that we're gonna be using more rigid, so that when we're going to move it around, we have wood and metal. It's gonna keep everything tied together a lot nicer. We have to do some cutting to clean this up. So I need to figure out what kind of material we're gonna need, and then I can run out to Lowe's and pick up our supplies to make our decking. So that'd be the outside measurements. So then we need to go 8 inches over than that. So 6. Then I would need, I think if we get 12 of those. It's going to be interesting to see at the end of the build if this $300 Facebook Marketplace purchase was a waste of money or if it was worth it. I got everything that I put on my list. I'm sure this won't be our first and only trip to Lowe's for this project, but it's the first one, and we got quite a bit of the supplies we're gonna need. So let's head on back to the homestead. All right, answer this one for me. I picked up 2 buckets that have 800 screws in them each. They're $50 a piece, which is expensive. But then they had one big bucket that had 1,550 screws. So 50 less than both these combined. And they wanted $120 for that one. So I got 50 more screws for $20 less than if I bought them all in the same container. I can't figure that one out. I had to keep going back and forth and checking. And that was the cheaper way to get them. I don't know. You gotta keep your eyes out sometimes and check on the prices because it doesn't make sense nowadays. But man, screws aren't cheap. All right, we need to figure out layout for our floor joists. And this is gonna be our rim joist. We need to be 96 and a quarter inches long for the main part. And then we need to add 7.5 to that. All right, so now we're gonna go 103 and 3/4. I am only gonna do the floor joists and rim joists out of pressure treated. Let's cut this one back, and then we can mark our layout. So we're gonna be here, boom, and then 16 on center. I like the big square because then we can do this and mark both of our rim joists at the same time. So just like that is how that's gonna go. So far, awesome. We are not falling on any of our metal rafters, which is perfect. I guess I better put my mask on. Hello, grinding party. It's not a fun party, trust me. But it's gotta get done. All right, we got, wow, I'm dirty already. We got the first side marked, cut, notched. That's where our floor joists are gonna sit. We're gonna use the old frame, even though it's rusty. Like I said earlier, it is going to be more, not structural strength, but rigidity strength. So when we're going to move this around, it has a metal base around it too that helps just keep everything rigid. We don't need it, so if it ever rusts out completely, it's not the end of the world, but it will be nice. But yeah, let me clean up my mess and then we can get the other side all done. The other side is rusted out a little bit more, but that's all right. This is not like the main frame. This is just part, we're just gonna use it since we already have it to give us more rigidity. I know that probably looks bad, but trust me, it's not gonna matter. We still have lots more to do. That's just to make it so we have something to rest. You'll see, you're gonna have to trust me on this one. It's gonna be perfect. All right, we got everything cut out, notched on the metal. I got my 4x6 skids made. I got my 2x6 floor joists cut. I need to get some carriage bolts that are 6 inches long. I want to bolt my 4x6 skids to my metal skids just to make everything nice and rigid. So I gotta go find those and then we can continue on, but that's gonna have to be in the next video. This is where we gotta end this video. Thanks for coming along on our homesteading journey. You guys are a huge blessing to us in our homestead. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're excited for this project, leave it in the comments down below and we'll see you right back here in the next video. Bye.